Buongiorno everyone, welcome back to the Magpie Channel TV. And Dwight Gayle is set to leave Newcastle United after 6 years on Tyneside. His time is finally coming to an end now. Big up Dwight Gayle. I actually like Dwight Gayle. I just think, we all know that this should have happened 2 or 3 years ago. Well, at least 2 years ago he should have left the tune. I mean, he was a brilliant servant for the club. 122 appearances for the club, 34 goals and 11 assists across that 6-year spell. Now, predominantly, I like to think of Dwight Gayle in the Championship, where he had that unbelievable record for us, where he scored an unbelievable 23 goals in 32 games. Now, he is on the verge of joining Stoke City. Newcastle are going to let him go for free. Let him go for free, even though he's got 2 years left on his deal. A deal that, it's ridiculous, isn't it? I mean, he had a good little spell during lockdown, actually. Remember, he scored against Liverpool, scored a couple of important goals, one against Eddie Howe's Bournemouth as well, actually, away from home, and we're battered them. But he just hasn't been up to scratch in the Premier League for quite some time now. I mean, fair enough after that lockdown, yeah, if you had to give him a 1-year deal, a 12-month extension, a 3-year deal was just absurd, wasn't it? But it just summed up Bruce and Ashley. Bruce was happy to keep him. Ashley and Lee Charney were more than happy to keep him on the books. It was much easier signing up these players on long-term deals than having to go out and find a new player, pay agent fees, transfer fees, increased wages. So we'll just give everyone a new deal. You're in your 30s, are you? Yeah? Half of your pension. Tell you what, here's another deal. 3 years, fuck it. Glad we're not running like that anymore. But I'm glad Dwight Gayle has got a decent move. He's going to join the Potters. There, he's had his first part of his medical yesterday. It's expected to be announced this week. It might even be announced by the time this video comes out Thursday at night. I'm going to release this, so I'll release this video if it becomes official before then. But it's going to happen probably before Friday. In the next 24 hours or so. It's bound to be announced that Dwight Gayle will have joined Stoke City on that free transfer. The 32-year-old. Now, he was at us on around £45,000 to £50,000 a week. So the best thing about this is it shows we don't really need the money. I mean, it's good to get the money for FFP balance and outgoings, but it's great that we can get a player off the books that isn't going to play. Eddie Howe said he wasn't in part of his plans in May, so there's been clubs sniffing around him for a while now. Middlesbrough, Watford. He'll be a credit to any Championship club, Dwight Gayle. I mean, considering it was about 4 or 5 years ago since he played for us in that Championship season, doing very well as our number 9, he'll still be able to do a job in the Championship. I think even at 32, I think he'll still be a very good signing for Stoke. Try and hopefully fire them up into the playoffs, into promotion maybe. Definitely can't cut it in the Premier League anymore. So it's good to get him off the wage bill is the most important thing. Wage bill, and it frees up a space in the squad for another forward. Now, Keith Downey said last night that this would mean that Newcastle will definitely be signing another striker slash forward, which we all hope for. New really, whether it be a winger, a striker, hopefully both. But allowing Gayle to leave does free up that space in our Premier League squad, which is what we're desperate to do. I mean, we've already had a few outgoings this summer, the likes of Isaac Hayden, Freddie Woodman, Kieran Clark, and now Dwight Gayle, as well as Jeff Hendrick on loan as well. Who's next then? Because we've offloaded a few players there. There's still a few to go, because we need to trim this squad down, we need to trim the wage bill down. If I was going to guess, I'd probably say it would be Matty Longstaff next to go. He didn't even feature for a second out in Austria. He went over there for the training camp. He didn't even play a single second, not even off the bench for a minute or two. Didn't get a sniff. So Eddie Howe's obviously not fancying Longstaff, Matty Longstaff. So he'll probably go on loan maybe, or might just let him go on permanent if he's not going to get a sniff. He played for the under-21s yesterday. And then you look towards the likes of Federico Fernandez, who Howe did come out and say he's a great professional, blah, blah, but I think we'd let him go. I think we'd happily let him go. I think Carl Darlow will go as well. He's been touted by quite a few Championship clubs. Again, like Gayle, I think Darlow could still do a job in the Premier League in the bottom half, but is he like Gayle, where Gayle is on another level? Gayle's too good for the Championship but not good enough for the Premiership, and maybe Darlow is floating in that category. Although I think Darlow, if he did a year or two in the Championship, he could then be Premier League standard. So there's a couple of names that could be next out the door at St James's Park. But hopefully this obviously does enable us to bring in another forward, striker and a winger. It would be lovely before the season kicks off, 2 weeks time, but more importantly, I guess, before the transfer window closes at the end of August. So that's it then. Dwight Gayle has left Newcastle United after several years at the club. 6 years in black and white. He has been a credit to the badge, in my opinion. He's always worked hard. He has got a goal in him. Brilliant in the Championship. Instrumental in getting us promoted. And he has had good spells in the Premier League. But at times I just think he lacks that consistency and skill to really cut it at the top level. But good luck, Dwight. Thanks for your services, Newcastle. Wish you all the best. Let us know what you think of Gayle leaving Newcastle. Who will replace Gayle? What forward should we bring in our new 25-man Premier League squad? Subscribe to Magpie Channel TV and enjoy yourself.